All right, let's talk about the underutilization of walking. Okay, so there's a lot of different stuff that you can do while you are walking. Number one, you can actually like do a lot of it on shift, or actually more than what you think you can. A lot of times we get stuck in the mode of like we got to sit in our car, and we do that with patrol, where it's like, oh, we just go drive around in our car. You actually can get out of those things and go out on foot and kind of explore in different ways, right? But we get stuck in that little coffin where we think that's our office and we can't leave it, and that's our little safety zone, and that's not true either. We know that to be true. So anyway, so find some time on your shift, 10 minutes. Number one, it's going to utilize your aerobic system. You're going to activate your aerobic system at a gear one standpoint, especially if you incorporate, guess what? Nasal breathing. Nice and calm. Walk briskly, but you don't have to go fast. You actually you don't go fast. Just treat it like getting out of your car and moving. Focus on the nasal breathing pace, and then you're activating your aerobic system, increasing your aerobic base, all while you would be surfing Instagram or wasting time on social media. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is from a prep and rehab standpoint. When you get stuck seated in your squad car, your inflection and all the way down even to your feet, right? Your feet are in extension, which is going to shorten your Achilles, which if your Achilles gets short, we're already wearing boots. It's real bad for your feet. Now we're going to shorten our Achilles and sit in like a shortened position. And then your posterior chain actually starts from the bottom of your feet and rolls all the way up through the backside of your head. So those are your strongest muscles. Those are your primary drivers. So if we are going to shorten those, we are going to diminish those capacities. And no wonder when we got to get out and run that we get people that pull hamstrings all the time. I'm sure you've seen it. I've seen it multiple times where all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm out. I pull the hammy. Actually heard that on the radio one time. That's why, okay? That's totally why, right? So when you get out of your car, you put the tissues back into a normal range of length, and then it stretches them out, right? It activates them and stretches them out. So it's like a rehab type thing, all right? In addition to all of this, right, so you're actually building a little bit of strength, because like we're wearing 15 20 pounds of gear day to day. So it's basically like, if you walk for 10 minutes, that's a 10-minute farmer's walk. Okay, so you're actually carrying this gear, and it's increasing your strength based on the fact that you're carting it with you. All right. Next piece, directional walking. So not just walking backwards, right? But walking forwards, but actually walking backwards too. So when you're doing that, equate that to a sled drag. So a lot of times with strength programs, we incorporate a day's worth of sled work where we're pulling sleds forwards, backwards, sideways, and that's gonna really load the tissues without the eccentric damage, okay? So this is a little different than that, because we do have the load, and we do have a little bit of eccentric loading, a little bit, right? Not a ton, but it's very similar. Like, number one thing that I recommend for anybody with knee pain is backward sled drags, right? So spend 10 to 20 minutes like pulling a sled backwards toe to heel. So, and from an even lower standpoint, if you get somebody that can't pull a sled for whatever reason, then you just start with backwards walking. So if you have knee pain, if you have back pain, if you have inactive glutes, just get in a parking lot, find somewhere, and just start walking backwards. So simply walking backwards is going to do a whole lot to clean up knee pain that you maybe thought was impossible to get rid of, and now all of a sudden over time, like we're spending time like flushing that knee joint over and over again, and not just sitting in a squad car and letting things fester. All right. Okay, well, there's your tips for backwards walking and forwards walking, and why it's important and why it's underutilized, and go out and get after it.